Hi, sweetness. This is Priya's sister. She's a bit of the eyelash thing too. Hey, Nefertiti. Are you enjoying the cooler weather, dear? Are you? What you being noisy about? Tell me more. Yeah. The feeding tour is not till later on. I'm sure you had other food though. That it? Later, dear. This is Aragon. He's ignoring me. It's the little girl with her dad down the way, and he's watching her. Ain't that right, sir? I am nothing to you right now. Trying to get the bar out of the way. Oh, bought a salt. Yeah. Aragon, got something in your teeth? Hi, pretty boy. Nope, not interested. What you doing? Oh, you see them again. They rounded the bend again. Yep, you're a wild man. You see the little girl and you want to pounce. Coming back. So exciting. Is there a fly? Oh, hello. Got the most interesting man in the world pose going on there. This is Top Cat. He's handsome. The birds are noisy today. Hi, handsome. You're gorgeous. Handsome man. Alright, back to photo mode. What are you sniffing? No more stinky face? Are you abandoning me? Bye, Top Cat. Later, man. Mufasa. That's Mufasa or Africa. Both of them roaring in the background. Thank you. This is Princess Pookie. She's an old girl. Sleepy girl. Speckled eyes. Una, sniffing the air. And back to bed. Good night. Hello. What? And we're done. The elusive timber who won't hold still. Can't keep up when I zoom in this much. You're in your routine now. Okay, I'm done with the pacing, Timber.
Deer, raccoons, armadillos, elk, or whatever else is available in their home range. Meeting a cougar in the wild is a highly unlikely event. Though feared by people, cougars play a critical role in the balancing of the ecosystem as a top predator. See that red spot though?
Yeah.
On the map? That's where they live.
Yes, we in Indiana, there's mountain lions.
Not in Indiana?
Yeah, mountain lions are in Indiana.
Sure, I just showed you where they live.
Indiana.
These are cougars are mountain lions, and we're in
They
Indiana.
used to be here, but they've been hunted out by
Did you
man.
hear? They used to be here, but they've been hunted out. Look, there's a tiger sticking out of the sun.
Yeah, that's Princess
Mom,
Pinky.
Why are you guys going the same way you guys came?
Yeah, tell me, so we're carrying them up there.
Finally, a tiger that's not sleeping.
Yeah, she's kind of sleeping.
Pookie.
Sweet, sweet Timber. We got a bear. The back of a bear. I don't know which one you are. Hello. Hello. I've been snubbed by a bear. But there's another bear somewhere. Oh, look at the other bear. Extreme close up. Oh God, it's a fence. Bear is going inside. Back to this bear. The snub me bear. Hi, how are you? Are we hanging out? Just chilling? Chillaxing out, maxing? Without the b-ball? Somewhere there's a pool though. How you doing? I don't have anything for you, but hi. Oh. Recline. How you doing? What are you doing? Hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hi. See those teeth? And that paw. And back to the snub. Later. This is either Walter or Thunder. I don't know who's the fluffier one. And they know food's coming soon. So they are ignoring me. There's the other one hiding in the corner, also watching the food people. Rub on your stuff on the way. Where'd you go? There's another one over here. Pacing because food. I want to eat now. So yeah, this is the best. We're going to get a bobcat with twitchy tail. Oh, wait. Turn around and still side view. Hey, sweetie. Okay, that's it for bobcats. No. You get a toy. Oh, you have an audience. You must stop. Hi. How you doing? Where are we going? Oh, you want to make sure I get your good side? You're gorgeous on every side. Don't you try to say otherwise. Hi. Hello. How you doing? Are you posing for me? Well, you are gorgeous. But you were playing with your toy, and that was so cute. You don't want to play with your box anymore? Okay. Pretty bird. Yes, pretty bird. Alright. Later.
They're like,
so these are the ring-tailed lemurs. We have a male and a female. Our female is Cat, and our male is Julian. So the one that's sitting on the platform is our female Cat, and the one down below is our male Julian. And you'll notice that she's making sure that Cat is fed first and then feeding Julian. And that is because this is a female-dominated species. So we have to make sure that Cat is distracted so that we can give something to Julian, otherwise she will chase him off. You'll also notice that Cat's tail is much shorter than Julian's. That's not how it's supposed to be. These were both formerly kept as pets, and at some point in her life something happened that her tail had to be amputated. So it should be the same length as his, and unfortunately some accident happened. And you'll see she just chased him off. He's pretty good about just running away from her when she's upset. So he doesn't really ever get injured. So lemurs are native to the island of Madagascar, off of the coast of Africa. That's the only place that you'll ever find them. Most facilities that keep lemurs actually go into the habitat with the animals. Unfortunately for these guys, they are very aggressive due to the home that they were in previously. So Like I said, they were formerly kept as pets. Then they ended up at a zoo here in Indiana, where at the time the director was doing a lot of questionable practices, including he would invite all of his friends to come party and drink in the primate house. During one of those parties, they actually used a high-pressure hose on a mother and baby primate to separate them so that his friends could get a better look at the baby primate. And during one of those parties, we don't know what exactly happened, but something happened to Julian to really make him aggressive towards people, and he no longer trusts people. And so after that incident, the keepers at the zoo could no longer go into the habitat with him. And so unfortunately, they had no way of cleaning their habitat after that because they did not have an area to shift them over to like we have here. So luckily, that director was removed from his position. A new director was brought in that's doing a lot of good to make sure that that facility is doing what they should be doing. And so part of that was to make sure to find a new home for these two lemurs. And so we decided to humanely euthanize her. The other two were malnourished, but we started giving them a proper diet and got them back into good health. So that was part of one of the largest rescues of big cats, because it was a facility that closed down. Another sanctuary actually went and bought the property and the animals, took in about half of the animals, took them back to their sanctuary, and then kept staff on site to help care for the animals while they facilitated finding new homes for them with other sanctuaries. So then next up, if you guys want to move along this way, and you can spread out in front of this habitat because we have two cats out here.
That Taz. Good boy.
On the left is our female, on the right is our male cat. And there's a poster on their habitat as well. They came to us from Tiger Paw Rescue over in Ohio.
I'm trying to move it
And
from my
the
move.
owners of that rescue decided that it was better to rehome them after laws changed over in Ohio, before there were going to be a bunch of exotic animal owners looking for homes for their cats. So the reason why the laws changed over in Ohio were due to the Zanesville incident, also known as the Zanesville massacre. Is anyone familiar with that incident?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple yeses. If you guys could stay with me. So the Zanesville incident, also known as the Zanesville massacre, refers to over in Zanesville, Ohio. There was a private exotic owner of several different exotic animals, mostly big cats. And he was having the last go of it. He had just gotten out of jail. His wife, who was supposed to be caring for his animals, found out that she was not caring for them, as well as she was having an affair, and so he decided that he could not take that. So he went around, cut the locks, and released all of his animals, and then proceeded to shoot himself. So they were getting reports of all of these animals on the loose, all of these big cats, and then they got back to the property and found his body, and they didn't even have him to ask, didn't have any records. They had no idea how many animals they were looking for, what exactly they were looking for. And so unfortunately, majority of those animals had to be shot and killed. And a lot of people ask us, well, why couldn't they tranquilize them and recapture them? That's not how tranquilization works. Tranquilization really only works when you have an animal in an enclosed space. Because as soon as you hit that animal with that dart, they run. They have that adrenaline rush and they run. So you have to be able to find out where they ended up, and it only works for a couple of hours. So usually by the time they would have found those animals, it would have worn off. So the only quick, safe, effective way to really remedy that situation was unfortunately to shoot most of those animals. And And so after that incident, Ohio decided that they needed to make some changes to make sure that an incident like that was never going to occur. So they went from being one of the most lenient states in the country when it comes to exotic animal ownership to now one of the most strict states. And if you're wondering, Indiana is one of the most lenient states in the United States when it comes to exotic animal ownership. So if you have a problem with that, talk to your local legislators. There's actually a big Cat Public Safety Act that's going through. Tell them to back up that act and make sure that there are laws, regulations in place to make sure that not just anyone is having these animals in your backyard, as well as that local law enforcement and authorities know about these animals and that there are proper regulations in place to make sure that they have an action plan for when the animals do get out. Are there any questions about Taz and Teacha or about the Zanesville incident? Okay. We'll move on down to the next habitat. Put two cats together and then have babies. So it's more than likely most of these animals are a mix of several different subspecies of tigers. Because the problem is there are more tigers here in the United States kept in private homes, roadside zoos, all of that, than there are out in the wild. So these two girls were actually born here before we were a nonprofit sanctuary, and that's actually because we thought that the male was altered, and then turned out that they weren't, so we had him altered. But so now any of the cats, if it's a male and a female that live together, we keep them together and we'll have the male altered. Otherwise, we do not put cats together that have never lived together before. Tigers in the wild are solitary, and so it's just kind of asking for a fight with these animals if we, especially with, we don't know exactly their backgrounds from the previous homes that they come from, and so we just keep cats together that live together their whole lives, and then don't try to introduce cats together that haven't lived together. Are there any questions about Sita and Jai? Or about tigers in general? Okay, we'll move on into our woods area.
Oh, actually, it's a he. Yeah, the leopards are both boys. Hi, China. Handsome man.
So basically, probably chewing already done eating, and it'll just take China eating peanut, and then we'll figure some out.
You eat me, China?
So these are two different subspecies of leopard, and the only reason why we have them living here together is because they lived together their entire lives. They arrived here when they were only about eating him as much. He was extremely overweight when he first arrived here and has since lost almost 30 pounds.
Wow.
He's also a very large size bobcat.
You see the bobcat? His name is Thunder.
Do they all eat meat?
And then
Yep, these are all carnivores.
in southern Indiana,
That's pretty much all they eat is meat. What are you doing?
he was kept as a pet because he was so
playing with
familiar
that?
and friendly with people. Ordinarily, a wild bobcat, you really don't see them in the wild because they do not want to be. They actually, when they're walking, they make sure that their back feet step into the footprints that their front feet left, as well as they will pee and poop into running water to not leave that trail. But they do scent mark. So they will spray to mark their territory. And that includes anything and everything. So I have been sprayed by the bobcats multiple times.
Yeah.
So not really a good smell to have in somebody's house as a pet. As well as they are wild animals, they need raw meat. Walter does have all of his claws under his front teeth claws. So once they're completely done eating, then they get
No,
the
I don't think
door
she can spray them.
opened, and then they have access to both sides. So she was kept
Short
at a
man?
facility that was offering the opportunity for the general public to come and take pictures, play with, bottle feed, that kind of stuff with baby animals. She was a part of that, and during one of the pay-to-play interactions, supposedly a child fell on top of her and they thought broke her back. So they decided not to seek any veterinary care for her. Instead, when she aged out of that program, they put her in the enclosure that you can see on that picture there, a tiny enclosure on concrete.
Go down to mommy so you can see.
And then eventually that facility closed down, and they were looking for homes for their animals. So we arrived to pick her up. She was extremely emaciated. She was so skinny you could see every single vertebrae in her back. So she was 3 years old when she arrived here. She is now 7 years old. So a very active, happy cat. When she first arrived here, she could not walk properly. And that is simply because she was not fed a proper diet, as well as she was not in a big enough enclosure to actually get adequate exercise. So simply feeding her multiple times a day with a joint supplement for a couple of weeks, we got the happy, healthy cat that you see in front of us. So any facility that is offering the opportunity for the general public to bottle feed, take pictures with, play with any baby exotic animals does not care about those animals. They only care about the money that they can make off of these animals. And Africa is a perfect example. As soon as she aged out of that program, they were going to try to breed her. They found out that she did not make a good breeder, and so they kept her on concrete with a possibly broken back and did not feed her. When the animals age out of the program, they can be reused in the cycle to breed more babies because they constantly have to have babies in there to make money. They also will sell the animals to the highest bidder, and they do not care where those animals end up as long as they get that money. So they can end up in facilities that are, as a private pet, they can end up in facilities that are roadside zoos. They can also end up in facilities that offer canned hunting. For those that are not aware, canned hunting is where a exotic animal is put into a fenced-in area, and hunters pay money to shoot at that animal, have it stuffed to keep in their home as a trophy. So once again, facilities that offer this do not care about the animals. If you want these places to shut down, simply do not visit them. If they're not making money, then they're going to have to close down. And I urge you, anyone that you know that wants to visit a facility like this, tell them to come here and listen to Africa's story. Are there any questions about Africa? Because this cat is 22, almost 23 years old. Oh, he got it stuck in the door a little bit. But you'll see when he's walking, he's quite slow moving. And that's because, again, his age, we have him on medication twice daily, as well as we put supplements on his food for joints to make sure that he's not in any pain. And we do have a veterinary exam scheduled for him. You'll notice underneath his chin that it's really gross under there. That is actually an abscess that we have a hole there draining, and that is from his previous owner. So originally, he started out on the beaches of Mexico as a photo prop baby. He eventually made his way to the United States, where he ended up at a facility here in Indiana, what we refer to as a pseudo-sanctuary. So it's a facility that's saying that they're a sanctuary, but they're doing the direct opposite of what a true sanctuary would do: buying, selling, breeding, trading animals, using them for entertainment. So he was kept in a small enclosure, and the DNR actually confiscated him from that facility because the DNR for 3 years told the owner that he needed to fix Mufasa's enclosure because it was so old and broken down that if he had wanted to, he could have escaped. And so either the owner could not afford to make changes or did not wish to, and so they removed him. During his time there, the owner saw that he was having difficulty with one of his teeth and either couldn't afford veterinary bills or did not wish to pay money on something like that. And so he decided to pull the tooth himself without any veterinary knowledge. Obviously didn't know what he was doing, did it wrong. He actually left the root of the tooth in his jaw where the infection spread, and it spread to his entire lower jaw. So unfortunately, that means we cannot do anything for him about that. So that's why he has that hole in the bottom of his jaw to let all of that infection drain out. He's also on antibiotics to help make sure that that infection doesn't get worse and spread.
It's a boy.
Are there any questions about Mufasa? And he is 5 years old.
Well, he's practically a baby.
So he really is not a fan of people. So that's why we closed the door behind him, so that he has to stay out for a little bit so that people can actually see him. Otherwise, he would come out, grab food, and go back inside, and you would just see him work. So Timber came to us from Ohio, again because of laws changing over in Ohio. They couldn't afford to make changes, and so they brought him here. So cougars are in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most names because for a while they were so widespread and all these different regions did not realize that they were actually talking about the same species of cat. So they are referred to as cougars, mountain lions, pumas, panthers, catamount, firecat, ghost cat. Those are just the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. These cats are also incredible athletes. That's why he has caging on the roof of his habitat. That's because they are incredible jumpers. I have not personally seen this, but one of our other lead keepers has witnessed him come running out of that ship door, stop at the floor right here, and then jump all the way up to his platform. And that's nothing. In the wild, most of the time they live up in the mountains, and so they have to jump from ledge to ledge up in the mountains. So these guys are incredible athletes. They also will kill prey quite a bit bigger than them because of what they're, they'll eat anything though. They will eat smaller rabbits, they just have to eat more of them. So today he's eating some chicken as well as looks like cow. Or maybe deer. So we actually do take in white-tailed deer that are hit on roadways here locally in Noble County. As long as it's less than 24 hours, we will take them in and process them here on site. As well as we get donations of things like chicken from Walmart. Most of our produce is actually donated from Walmart Distribution Center, as well as Costco. So we're very fortunate to have those. Male, Alpha Bayo. And then in back behind him is our female trio. And then I don't see the third one, 6. He's probably hiding. But these three, like I said, they're siblings. They're from 2 different litters. They're actually hybrids. They're a mix between a wolf and a domestic dog. We don't know exactly how much. We know that they're higher content, but we don't know exactly how much. We did have their father in residence, and he was a hybrid. Unfortunately, he had cancer and passed away. And supposedly their mother was full wolf, but we never actually saw her, so we don't know exactly. We could do a DNA test on these guys to see exactly how much of each they are, but they're expensive, as well as there's really no point for us to do that. It doesn't change how we care for them or anything like that. We're not breeding, so it really doesn't matter to us how much of what they are. So we do go into the enclosure with these guys when we go to clean them. It is always a 2-keeper system. That is, one person is actually cleaning, the other person is watching them, always. And that's because these guys are still wild animals. They have those wild instincts. As soon as they notice that we're not paying attention to them, they will take that opportunity. So we always have an eye on them while we're in there with them. And they're just getting a snack today, so that's why they just tossed it over the fence for them. Are there any questions about our wolves?
Hi, Aragon. How you doing? And it's gone. Oh, that's a tiger calling. How you feeling, Mufasa?
Fighting sleep.
You can be nice, it's okay.
Mufasa.
It's cute because he looks right in your soul. You just look right in there, don't you, pretty boy? Yes. Do you see her picture?
He throws up.
Is it gonna be that bad?
Tell us about it. You won't mind. We'll listen.
Yeah.
Heck.
I mean, you know, it's just so mellow. He's so rapid.
Oh, you drunk? You got one eye caught? Look, he's winking at you.
Oh, no, she's a